Good evening and welcome to There Are No Forest Fires on Flat Earth. This video may contain copyrighted images which are being used for the purposes of criticism under fair use. If you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with videos from Nathan Oakley 1980. I am joined via Skype by Stephen Chess, if I can get my words out. How are you doing, Stephen?
Doing good, man. I guess I'm gonna try and get my words out, you know?
Bit better than my intro, hopefully. So, can you tell us, first of all, what's all the fuss about? What are we talking about this evening?
So basically, it's the conspiracy surrounding the California fires. Basically, people look at this kind of stuff and wonder why, it's very selective. You know, these houses didn't burn, this house didn't burn, all these did. And all the trees, of course. But to me, it looks kind of normal to me. Fires have a nature of being kind of random in what they burn. It depends on what you have around your house, the bits of brush, your yard. If people keep them clean, you have different types of roofs. It's just, there's a lot of things that happen. And trees like, they burn when they're dry. Do these look dry to you?
Yeah?
The tops of these trees right here?
I mean, I'm assuming they're dry because it's in a hot climate, but they're pretty green, so
Right.
I don't know.
This is about as green as it gets in California. You know what I mean? For trees like that aren't really being watered.
Okay.
And considering they've just been next to a fucking fire, they look pretty green.
Well, like I say, you're asking someone totally cold, and my natural assumption, probably because of programming, is to assume that they're going to be dry as all hell.
Right. Well, I know these kinds of trees, like I hike around them and stuff. And basically, like my grandfather has an avocado orchard. I have it in some of my videos. And fires have burnt up to it many times, but the forest has never burned. It's because the forest is damp, the forest floor is damp, the trees are all made of water. It's like, how are you going to burn that? They may get all toasty like this, like all these that are right next to the fire. These look dark. This looks dark. These look green. Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. I keep forgetting that you're colorblind. Can
Right.
you see green?
I can see green. I mean, I can see that there's foliage as well. So, it. As soon as I said it, I realised it was a stupid statement to make. But by the same token, I just went with my gut instinct, and that's what I'm going to do for this whole show, because I'm completely cold about this. I don't know anything about it, literally. I don't watch the news. I've not really paid any attention to any of it on YouTube. That's why I'm the one with you to do it, presumably for the reactions I give. So I'm just going to be honest and say, I assume that they're dry. But then you say, well, no, they're green. So you go, well, yeah, of course, that's a stupid assumption to make.
Well, if they were dry, they would have burned, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the fuss, though? So what's the contradiction, or what's the conspiracy theory that's gone on about these particular trees, then? You fill me in on why you want to do this stream.
Well, people will bring up pictures of dead animals that are kind of toasty, but not like burnt all the way through. And they'll say that these have died from the inside, you know what I mean? Or been burned from the inside out. But what people don't realize is that most deaths from fires is just from the inhalation alone. You're not going to die from the flames. It says about only 30% of fire-related deaths are from the flames. This is Stanford Children's Health.
Okay.
So, and that's something that I thought was common knowledge. It's like you don't exactly have to. Yeah, fire is not good, but if your building is filling up with smoke, or if you're outside and there's too much smoke and you're inhaling it, that's what's going to kill you, not the fire.
Okay. I'm with you so far.
Right. Alright, so I'm just sort of going through these things one by one. And then they'll show pictures of cars like this. You would say that this is the California fire, right? Because it looks exactly the same. I know you haven't even seen any of those, but I'm sure that the listeners have seen the California fire pictures. But for this instance, they look exactly like this. But this is not California. None of these are. You know what I mean?
So you're
This
saying that
happens all
people
the
are
time.
using these pictures as examples, but they're not from California?
Yeah, they look exactly the same as what happened in California. This happens all the time. So what they do on Facebook and other places, they say forest fires only burn at this temperature. But they're not taking into account cars aren't made of wood. You know what I mean? Cars are made of all kinds of weird stuff. And they're full of gas, and they melt. It's not from lasers. It happens. Sorry, but it's just the truth. So,
Okay, so people are saying that the cause of these cars being burnt the way they are is from lasers.
from their, you can get a better, wording from them, but basically lasers. Okay, it's like the Judy Wood, beam type thing.
Okay, so
But
what you're saying
unless
is,
unless that's happening all over all the time, it's just kind of irrational.
so you're saying that a directed energy weapon is the
Right.
conspiracy here. So there's a directed energy weapon that's being used to burn these cars and the trees.
Right.
That's the conspiracy argument. The directed energy weapon is the cause of this, and you're saying absolutely not, complete nonsense. There's a perfectly simple explanation for it. And in the case of
They're
these
all
cars, it's just that's how cars burn, which I've seen burnt out cars before. Yeah, I mean that's a burnt out car, but that's why I'm kind of
this
a bit,
looks like
yeah.
yeah, this looks like just the aluminum rims melted. It's the part that's gonna melt. Looks
Yeah,
like near the gas tank too.
yeah, all makes sense to me.
All right, so the next part, they'll show this tree, my, and they'll show it burning from the inside, and then they'll definitely reference some biblical passages. I'm not really looking into that kind of stuff. You guys can do that if you'd like, but they'll show this tree and they'll say that, oh yeah, this tree was hit. You know, but in reality, this kind of stuff happens all the time.
So you're saying
Throughout the
this tree burning from inside out. I mean, I've got to be honest. That image is pretty fantastic to look at. But you're saying this is a common occurrence. So why and how?
Well, it's because of the structure and the way that a tree grows and the way that it transports water. Basically, what you get is the cork cambium, this part in the middle, which divides and grows outward and inwards, making the different layers, your early and late season based on how much water it gets. And in the middle, you'll get what is called the pith. I know this is just nonsense science words, but it's just sort of like this dead, rotted out wood in the middle of the tree, where the outside of the tree is living.
Okay, so the word you used just before we went live was redundant. So I'm just piecing this together from basic high school knowledge of trees. So it's growing out in layer upon layer upon layer, year upon year, or whatever rate it grows. And as those layers die, like our, I don't know, top layer of skin would die, the same applies to a tree, but inside as opposed to outside. So you're left with this redundant, essentially dead area in the center of the tree.
Right. So if you wanted to kill the tree, all you would have to do is go down to the cork cambium layer, the layer of which the cells divide outward, and you would cut that layer, and it would not grow any further. Something like I don't know. I could probably find a picture, but maybe that's what happened in my video here. It'll load. Let's see. I didn't have to go far to find this. This was just in my apartment complex in California. You know, probably the same kind of tree. So, this. So basically, I found this tree, and I find this kind of thing quite often. You'll have a point where a knot develops, and the tree will keep growing outward. You'll find that this part of the tree is still alive, transporting water, and the inside is like sawdust. It'll just come apart when you scratch it. So, which part of this tree do you think will light up first?
Yeah, okay. I get your point. The completely dead, rotting sawdust, devoid of water bit in the centre.
Yeah, yeah, the completely devoid of water, rotting part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I completely get your point. So far, so good. It all makes sense so far. Trees can burn from the inside, and in fact, it seems logical that they would based on what you've just shown. So far, so good.
It's just kind of how trees are.
Okay, so what
Trees,
we're
roots,
looking at now is like a picture version of the same thing to explain it a bit
just
easier. So,
a cross section of the cells. But I think that I was trying to find a video of a what somebody called a laser coming down onto a tree, but to me, what it looked like to be was a whirlwind that was carrying up a plume of fire because it looked like it was going up, not coming down. I don't know. I couldn't find the video for this presentation, but I don't know. It's definitely out there.
okay,
So
that makes sense too. So what you're
basically,
saying is that eventually the fire reaches the top of the tree, burns its way out of the tree, and then you see a stream of fire going up from the tree. And the video presentation that you saw on Facebook, which unfortunately we haven't got for this presentation, showed exactly that. But the explanation alongside it was that the fire going up was actually a beam coming down, correct?
right. So it's like, as you see here, the last part of this tree that's going to burn is the part that has the most life in it, the most water. It's baking on the inside. Like, if you look carefully, it's probably not very good here, but if you get it in HD, you can see just like steam coming up. Or I can see some steam right here, can't you?
Then
That's the
try and make
water.
the if you can make it a bit bigger on your screen, because I'm just showing what you're seeing. So if you can make it full screen, give it a few
Yeah, it's
seconds.
really slow. But yeah, you can see all this steam coming up. It's very white. That's just the water from the tree being evaporated, and then it'll burn. It burnt off the driest parts of the tree, and it's going to leave the outside last.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you so far.
I don't know. It does seem like pretty simple stuff.
Well, not at all. Simple if you know.
Well, I don't think I have anything else. It's a rather short one in my usual fashion.
No, fair enough. You had a video that I got queued up. Did you want me to play that?
No, that's just a video of the smoke from where I was, of the fire. You can play it like as a go out if you want. It's cool.
Yeah, cool. I'll play it, and then once it's finished, I'll thank the audience and whatnot. Let's just get that big. Play that out now. I've got the moon in shot. What are we actually looking at? You say it's the smoke coming from... Because obviously you can't see what we're seeing, so you can't talk us through it. It's just the
I'm
smoke in
about
the
to
distance,
look.
basically.
Did you look at 6:30?
Yeah, we play. It's been playing for about 30 seconds now.
It was very short. I didn't have too much in there, but that's about it, man.
Yeah, almost at the end, I think.
Unless you just want to watch the rest of my video, which you could do.
Okay, now we're seeing... looks like a cloudy day, but you're saying this is the smoke.
Um, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look up the the live feed right now.
Yeah, that might be an idea. I'll go to the chat. Hey,
Yeah, it is. It was really chemmy that day. A lot of chemtrails. I don't think that's the smoke. The fire came from the south. This is coming from the west. Or I'm probably watching a couple seconds behind.
yeah, we're just looking at a nice shot of the moon now. Now we're in your car, I think. So this is you travelling towards the fires?
I can't remember which day this was. This was last week. I'm not sure. I'm always traveling around Los Angeles for whatever reason.
Do
Oh,
some
the feed
volume
must be
stuff.
really delayed because it's like I'm watching. Oh yeah, okay, I see why it's delayed.
Right
I have
after
to
the
stick some
rains,
volume up. Can you hear
it's
that?
all just green. It was beautiful
No,
then. Now it's a fire hazard. Time is now
oh yeah,
11:30.
that's another good point that I didn't mention yet, Nathan. So the conditions this year were really good for a fire because, as everyone knows, we had one of the worst droughts in history. In the years leading up to this year.
So perfect conditions for fires.
And then this year we had pretty good rain and good brush, which led to dry brush and conditions of fires. Yeah.
Ah, okay, so now we're at this tree.
So basically, we had one of the worst. Oh, cool. But yeah, we're at one of the worst. We had one of the worst droughts in history, and some good rain after that. So it'll be clear conditions, followed by a good amount of brush coming up, being really dry after another, end of a dry season. And then finally the fires coming in the fire season and being blown around at a really bad time because I guess if I went back and looked into the video that I was playing in this video, I could find that the moon was just passing over right before that spell of wind that we had that night when the fire really spread.
Okay, break that down for me. What does that mean?
Well, basically, just the conditions of the sun and the moon passing overhead created a wind spell which kicked up all that fire at midnight and really spread it around.
Gotcha.
That's all for the string of videos.
Oh yeah, so this was the forest that I was talking about. Many fires have burnt straight up to this forest. It's definitely singed the leaves of the outside of the forest, but the fires have never gone into the forest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, August the
So
1st
having
at
brush burn around trees that are alive, that happens all the time. Saying that a fire is selective because it doesn't burn living trees, or a fire is selective because it burns the inside of a tree that's dead. No, that's crazy.
Yesterday we had just barely any
Yeah, well, as I say, I had absolutely no idea that this conspiracy was even being punted around. So, this is a bit of a, I don't know, I don't want to call it a shock, but it's certainly news to me. And nice to know that you're lined up with a swift debunking of it, as cold as ever, in terms of just fact-based. So, great, wonderful.
Yes, live things do burn down as well, as I showed in this video, but after a lot of steam coming off of it and drying it out. It takes a little bit for live stuff to burn. Are you going to take a live branch, put it under some fire, and say, "Oh, it's on fire now"? It's not going to happen. But if you take some dry wood, or that's the whole point. Do you not get fires? Don Treader, UK.
I think we might round it out before we start arguing with the chat, actually. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's it.
Superb. Well, in that case, Stephen, I'll say a massive thank you for debunking the current nonsense regarding the California forest fires. And I'm going to say a huge thank you also to all of the people who have joined us in the live chat. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to this channel. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again, Stephen.